Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We're on the River Thames. This is the last day in our river journal. 102 episodes.
It is the last day of my river journal. 4 traveler's notebooks. 1 not quite as full, but the other one's pretty darn full. Or they are full. And lusciousness. I like to measure inches on my books. And we pretty much have 6 inches here. So if I were measuring 18 inches in the year 2018, which I'm not, my project for 2018 is to do page 18 out of a ton of repurposed books, which that might be the series I do next. I thought I might do one about Marin County, which is the county just across the Golden Gate Bridge north in San Francisco, which is where I grew up. And there's a lot of really cool history there. More and more that I didn't know about that I know now. And I still might do something like that, but I think I want a fun something or other. And I'm going to go into my page 18 journal for 2018. But that does not happen. That does not solve my last page in my Thames River of my 14 rivers around the world. 7 in the United States and 7 in and amongst the world. And I don't think I put it in here. It's in here. This has been so much fun. Long, very long. Some people would say too long. We started with the Broad River, which is the one where I live now. And we have done them all. The Rio Grande. Hold on. We need a pen. Check. Okay, so we did the Nile. We did all of these. And the Thames. Check. Mississippi, Missouri, Colorado, Snake, Broad, Sacramento, Rio Grande. Check. So we get a big check mark for this. This was how I did it in my whatever you call this. It's not a planner. It's not a bullet journal. It's life. A life book. Not Project Life, but a life book. So, I think I'm going to do it, since I'm a woman, I'm going to do it, my last page in my journal as if I were a writer. And having found a lost diary, or a lost traveler's notebook, or a lost planner, or a lost bullet journal from Jane Austen. So, with that being said, I'm going to fast forward it because it's going to take way too long. And if I'm smart, I might apply music to it. And off we go. So, here we go.
Alrighty, so I am flipping through books. This is a fabric history book, kind of, that I got at a used bookstore. That wasn't suiting my fancy. Here's a fairy tale book that I got at a used bookstore, and it has great illustrations. And I would love to be able to find something in here, but I'm looking for a girl in a fanciful environment that is not an obvious fairy tale like Cinderella or Rapunzel, um, or Beauty and the Beast. That one right there was the cool Beauty and the Beast, but it has the beast in it. So I'm trying to find a girl. And I finally do, in the back. And I'm going to shrink her down to the size I need. And in doing so, I cut out this beautiful bird. So I decided to put the bird back into it and have the bird telling my version of Jane Austen a message. And she was always flirting with men, so the fact that there's a man in there is okay for me. Um, and I really just like the fanciful idea of this, and it's not exactly the way I've done other journals where I actually pretend like I'm somebody and talk about something. I'm just putting my message down on a Jane Austen quote and art journaling a page of Jane Austen. If she were in this book of fairy tales. And the quote has the word village in it, so I'm trying to make a village scene in the background of these two people. In reality, my village doesn't fit in any of the background, so I'm going to put it fanciful in the folds of her skirt. So her village is pictured in her skirt of little cottages and trees in different trees in people's yards, and kind of in an art journal sort of fashion determined that her village is in her skirt. That's how she sees her village. And I'd used the mermaid markers. It's obviously very rudimentary, little tiny houses and trees, but those mermaid markers are luscious to work with, and I could see that happening a lot in the future. Don't worry, I'm not going to give up on my Stabilo Woodies or watercolor. I just like it all. Um, so I cut all this ephemera, my homemade ephemera, out, and I have said before that I like to leave a little bit of white borders on things, so that's why there's white borders. And this is where I try to put it in the background, but it really won't fit. So I'm going to put it, like I said, in the folds of her skirt. And this is her village. And the quote, well, I'll tell you the quote at the end. But the bird is whispering this to her. And that's where Jane Austen comes up with this quote. It actually came from a bird. Didn't you know that? Of course you did. I'm just using a little bit of a sketchy look into the white border around my ephemera, and thoroughly enjoying this process. So, my last day in my river journal, I cannot believe it. 102 episodes, give or take. A lot of memories, a lot of fun, a lot of perfecting some of my favorite things. Um, Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I don't know what I'm going to get up to next. Maybe, I don't know. I think I'm going to do page 18s, but I'm not sure. I do know that whatever I get up to will be fun, will be bright, will be in my fashion, and hopefully every day. So stay tuned to this channel. I'll be here again in the morning, just like clockwork.
Alrighty, that's the last of the river journal. And this little bird is whispering in my or someone else's ear, maybe Jane Austen's, and saying, if adventure will not find a young lady in her village, she must seek them abroad. And that's a Jane Austen quote. I covered up part of a word. I love this. Here she is seeking her own adventure. I've seeked my own adventure in this book. Curti, I think you seeked your adventures here in this book too. And we have come to the end. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I had 6 left. I might do some art journaling in the end here. But it has been grand. It has been fun. It has been challenging. It has been an adventure. And I love it. See you all tomorrow with an in-betweener. No, see you all tomorrow with a final flip through of all of them.